Yeah. That's good. Right. Um, it started from Woodlawn High School talent show. I was in a group called Genera 3. We was called Genera 3, and it was Squirt, Antonio Mack, and Sylvester. And they was rapping over a Run DMC beat in the audition. I told them, hey, I can make a beat for that. And I had a little Casio keyboard, you can record one track and then play everything else. So, but through them big speakers, the big amps that our band teacher had, the drum machine on the Casio sounded like a monster. So I turned the 16 beat on and I played these simple chords and they rapped over there. Yeah, let's go bump, let's go bump. We did the talent show. They rapped, and it's a part where we were supposed to break the song down, but I couldn't play and slowing it down to seem corny. So instead, I stopped playing and had the little orange pads on it. And they said, make it funky, make it funky. And I played Sucky MCs by Run DMC. I said, so, you know what I'm saying? From that, we became like, when people saw us in the talent show, they said, Gennaro here, we ain't gonna win nothing. Because we was moving. And then we went from that to a Dr. Rhythm drum machine to a TR 909. Then I had an 808. Then I had a 707. And this whole time I'm learning by myself because there's nobody really to show you. Then in my school, there was this guy, MC Rob D. Not Rob D, MC QD, by the name of Rodney Harris. He had a song that came out, and he was the first guy that I knew of in the state of Alabama that was rapping, and he was like the LL Cool J around here. He was the LL Cool J in Alabama. He was IOC Shadi, and he did a talent show, and he was rapping, and he was saying something, then he said, but my rhyme's not complete without a hand clap. And the drum machine said, and kept, I was like, whoa, wait, stop. Wait a minute. I was stuck. And he showed me how to program my drum machine. He told me how to step right. Him and this dude, Darren Rudolph, they both showed me on my R8 drum machine how to do stuff. So I was in class, no headphones, just step right in class. So from there, that's how I met Robert Harris, who we affectionately know as Boss Man. I went off to college. It was a dude named Rod that me and him knew. Rod was in a group with this dude named Lenhart Harper. And I had made this beat cassette. And I gave it to them before I left town. Rod gave it to Boss Man. So I went, did my stuff, and came back. When I came back, my homeboy was like, hey, it's a dude in Terrence City. He got a recording studio and don't know how to use it. We need to go over there. I said, come pick me up in the morning. Let's head over. So I went there and we walked in. He was like, what's going on? Y'all looking for some time? I said, no, I'm a producer. My man's a writer. We heard you was looking for some people to work your studio. He said, what kind of music you do? I said, I do hip hop. He said, for real? I said, yeah. He said, I got a rapper. Can you come back tomorrow by 10 o'clock? I said, yeah. He said, come back tomorrow at 10 o'clock and I'll introduce you and let's see what we can do. I said, cool. That was Darren Reeves I was talking to, the owner of Unity. Me and my dude, Tony, pulled up. As we're walking in, I hear one of my old tracks from high school playing. And over top of that, you hear Boss Man saying, them old dudes, they cool and stuff, but they don't know nothing about no rap, no hip hop. See how that track sound like that? See that? That's what I want. I want something like this to wrap over. This here. And when he looked to the right, we was just coming in. Because you remember how the studio said, he was in there telling Darren, that's what I want. Darren leaned in his back to the door. He was like, that's the dude right there that just made Lock. I was like, what's up? He was like, y'all know each other? He said, we went to school together. That track you listen to, this the dude that made it. He was like, you think you think you can do that for him? I said, yeah. He said, let me show you the equipment. He was like, all right, man, I'm gonna give you a key. This the code. Y'all come through tomorrow about 10, and you set up for them and y'all record something, and then I'll be here and I'll bring y'all some food by 12. So I was like, cool. As we walking out, Tony said, you know how to use this? I was like, no, but he gave me the key and the code. So I'm going back tonight. So I got the book. And just as I was in there, Z-Man came in. He was like, who you? I was like, oh, I'm Locke. I'm the new guy that's supposed to work with Boss Man. He said, good, because, I'm an R&B. I don't do that. I was like, I'm having a problem keeping the tracks and, trying to separate. He said, oh, that's easy. He said, you loop it from 1 to 8. Don't use track 1. You use track 2. If you want to use track 3, you hit this button. And he showed it to me. I said, he screwed up. After that, he was like, this is how you copy it. So you can use the same beat here, and you just loop it from there, and you program from there. And then that way you just copy this and copy that and put it. I was like, oh, yes. The next day, Boss Man came in. I did this track, and I ripped everybody off. I stole from Parliament. I stole from Boogie Down Productions. I stole from MC Shane, Special Ed. And I think the last person was NWA. I had replayed because I didn't have nothing to sample with. I replayed everything by hand. Boss Man said, yep, put me in the booth. And he started rapping and such and this, and that D came in with food, crystals, of course. Add the mayo, add mustard, large sweet tea. And he was like, yeah, man, that's dope. I said, yeah, it's cool, but you know what we missing? I said, we need a sampler. And he was messing with the dudes out there in Homewood. I can't remember their name. But they had a store out there. And D said, just hook it up and blow it out. So we had full memory in it and everything. And I got that and I brought that in, hooked it up to the O1W. And that's when me and Boss Man made Bama Townsend Effect. We did Back Down Memory Lane. We did Bomb for the 9 Tray. What happened to that? Because it could have been something bigger than what it was. But Darren was greedy. What happened that, and most everybody don't know, is that our memory lane was picking up steam. And Ichiban reached out. And Ichiban was like the big distributor throughout the Southeast at the time. Everybody that was doing hip hop was using Ichiban. They reached out and told us to send them 5,000 copies and they was going to cut us a check. And once those 5,000 sales, we'll get a royalty bounce back, and then they will want another shipment, and we give them the rights to go ahead and do it. And we don't have to worry about that because they're going to make sure it gets played, it gets this, it gets that, it gets the third. So Darren didn't tell us. And just so happened, it was the day that me and Boss Man was in the studio. Like I always did when I came in, I checked the messages, I wrote down the stuff, and I put it in a drawer for him. The message was on the phone. And when Boss Man heard it, he went left. Because contrary to what people might have thought, Boss Man was he was from that life. And the last thing you want to do to him is lie. So when we questioned him about it, his response was, and it sticks in my head like it happened yesterday. Man, MC Hammer selling his records out the trunk and he making all the money. Why are we gonna do this and give it to them white boys and they just take all the money we could have made just selling it out the trunk? Boss man said, you ain't selling it out the trunk. You ain't pushing it. You ain't trying to even get it on radio. Whole uproar happened. And just after that happened, y'all came back with questions about y'all contract. After y'all came back with questions about y'all contract, etc. came back with questions about their contract. To Impress had questions about their contract. Everybody asked me, I'm like, you need to talk to him. I get paid $25 per song that I make for y'all. I have no clue what's going on. So from that, I went to Chips and worked at Chips Records. I was over there with Dennis. I was working with, I can't remember the young lady's name, but she had a song on the radio. At that time, working at Chips, Dennis didn't like me because I was overshadowing what he was doing. Because I had the sounds. My catalog of drums and kicks and snares was industry sounds. So when I made something, it sounded like it was something off the radio. And he didn't like that.